guys, welcome to a channel or welcome back to a channel where we talk about things. My name is Katie and I am an aspiring wedding photographer, or I'm a wedding photographer, why did I say aspiring? In the lovely state of North Carolina, and all the dogs are joining me now. And today I wanted to talk about what I think are some of the most important things to include in your wedding questionnaire. I would say first things first, oh my gosh, I'm gonna sneeze. First things first, if you are a wedding photographer and you are not sending a wedding questionnaire when you book a client, let's start doing that now. It is something that I have done since before I was even getting paid to do engagement shoots or anything like that. Just questionnaires, getting to know people, and also with weddings, timeline, all of that stuff can be answered beforehand in a wedding questionnaire. And I think they're super, super important. So if you don't do that already, please start. And hopefully this video will be helpful to you and know what to include when you start doing your wedding questionnaire. So I think one of the most important things to include, like this is top of my list in my wedding questionnaire, is a list of all of the family that you want in your family portraits with their name and their relation. And this is done this way for a couple reasons. You obviously want family portraits to go as smoothly as possible, so having a plan going into it of how many people you're going to photograph, you know, what combinations of people is kind of really important for it to go smoothly. And everyone knows, I mean, maybe everyone doesn't know, but usually on wedding days, after the ceremony, it's like herding sheep. So a lot of the family members and the bridal party, they kind of start scattering into cocktail hour, mingling with guests, and having their name is vitally important because you can now call out their name, or if you have an assistant or a second photographer, they can go and call out their name versus like, okay, aunt of the bride, all the bride's aunts now. No, it's Aunt, I always say Aunt Karen, that's always my go-to. Aunt Karen, Uncle Bob, you're in there, come on down, you know. I think whenever somebody hears their name, it causes them to actually turn and look at you, and you can say, like, you're in there. And also having everybody that the bride or the couple wants to take pictures with is also important, because there have been weddings or instances where, you know, family members want to jump in there, and then it's kind of awkward because the bride or groom don't want that family in there, you know. A lot of the time it is immediate family, but sometimes they do want extended aunts, uncles, cousins, like the big family picture, and that's all great, but you need to know that going in to the wedding day so you know how to coordinate that. A lot of the times family can give you the bigger headache than the couple because everyone has their own opinions on things. So if you know exactly who to photograph, you can put in the different combinations and send it to them with your wedding timeline beforehand. But it's so important to have their name and their relation just so you can have those family portraits go a whole heck of a lot smoother. So I would say if you don't have anything in your wedding questionnaire, definitely have that. If I could only pick one thing, I would have all the family and their relation with their names. Another thing that I would add in your wedding questionnaire is the question, is there anything that you should be aware of? Is there a recent death or divorce or something that you need or would like to be sensitive to on the wedding day? Because it would be super embarrassing, or, you know, if you're accidentally insensitive, or you might offend somebody, or, you know, if there was a recent death, you don't want to bring some things up for the family on this like super happy day. So I think that having that in there is wonderful. I've had a couple brides, they're usually the ones that fill out the questionnaire, put in, you know, my parents are divorced, please, like, they don't want a picture together, things like that. Like, you just want to be conscious of people's situation. It is a family, there's, you know, extended family, so there could be divorce, death, you know, different things like that that you want to know going into the wedding day, because you don't want to goof and you don't want to offend anybody. Now, in terms of timeline, those kinds of questions should be, what time are they getting ready? What time does the ceremony start? What time does the reception end? Things like that. The timeline building questions should be in your wedding questionnaire. So when you do end up creating the wedding timeline, then it's a lot easier to kind of have the bones. Here's getting ready, here's ceremony, here's the end, and filling everything in. So those are really, really important, and I have definitely had people not answer those questions, and you feel like you're scrambling because you can't make a timeline. You're kind of pulling it out of thin air. So definitely include those in your questionnaires and definitely have your couples fill those out. It's easier on you because everyone's on the same page and it won't take as much time going back and forth and creating the wedding timeline if you have those like bones to work with. Another thing in terms of actual picture taking, I always ask if there are any special heirlooms, something borrowed, something blue that you would specifically like me to know about, or just special items in general that you would like to be photographed. I know for me, in my own wedding, I wore my mom's veil, so I definitely wanted some detailed shots of the veil. And some people may have I was actually photographing a wedding, they had their grandmother's ring, and now I already do ring shots, but then it makes it even more special because it's her grandmother's ring, things like that. Or something blue, like I've seen a little bows underneath the dress to help bustle it that are blue, and there's something blue. So just those little details that you want to remember to take pictures of on wedding day. I think those are just so sweet and sentimental to the bride or the groom or whoever, just the family. And it's something that you want to make sure you capture. And maybe it's something that the couple's not even thinking that they want captured, but when giving this wedding questionnaire, you have that question, it brings it top of mind, and you can give that to them, which is just really, really nice. And the last thing I will say is I always add kind of fun questions and get to know you questions in my questionnaires. So how he popped the question, are you going on a honeymoon? If so, where? I've had some pretty extravagant honeymoons, to be completely honest. Like one was in Norway to go whale watching. I would like to go. Things like that, just to get to know your couple. It makes it more fun. It gives them a better experience than just business. What time are you getting ready? What do you want photographed? It just gives a bit more experience. You get to know them, and then usually I'll do an engagement session or a bridal session beforehand, and then I always kind of go into it knowing them a little bit, and I can ask more questions like, oh, I saw you met in 8th grade, that's amazing. Stuff like that. You just get to really connect with them, and I think it makes the filling out questionnaire portion a lot more fun, in my opinion. But that's where I'm gonna end today's video, and I hope you found this helpful. I hope that you start using a wedding questionnaire. I'm gonna be completely honest, my wedding questionnaires are Google Docs that I send to my couples. I'm not kidding. I just send them a Google Doc, they fill it out. It's so easy and it's so effective and so important. So I would definitely recommend, if you're not doing this now, you should start. If you're a wedding photographer or a portrait photographer, I'm sure this could translate to portrait photography too. If you're not doing this already, please start. I think it's very, very highly beneficial. Very beneficial, highly beneficial. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!